Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Behind Her Brand Monday Morning Brew. I am Kimberly DeShields-Spencer, the founder behind her brand. I hope you got your brew. I don't know if y'all can see mine today, probably not with the glare, but I got my Hebrews 11:1 scripture cup today about faith. Um, but anyways, today we are going to talk about something that I am really looking forward to hearing your feedback on. When God brought this up for me to talk about today, I was like thinking this is such a good time because right now we're all experiencing so much online where we're seeing so many people's views. I've heard so many conversations where people are like, I unfollowed, I unfriend, I didn't know they believe this. There's some things that we see that make us feel good. Some things that we see that may make some people here feel like, man, my life is not growing. Oh, I wish I had that kind of relationship. Or, oh, man, I love this, I love that. All the different things bring up so many different feelings. And one of the things that I have realized, especially in the climate that we're in, that is so important how we process and how we see things through the lens that we see them through. And God brought back to me a conversation that I had a couple of years ago. I spoke at a conference, and after I finished, I went to the back, and there was a beautiful Caucasian lady that walked up to me, and she was literally in tears. And not because of what I said was so impactful, but she shared an experience with an African American female that really caused a lot of hurt feelings and a lot of things for her. And when I was listening to her, God had already worked on me many years ago about making sure the things that I've experienced, things that I felt, that I don't project that on anyone else and I don't filter through that. And that it's taken years of just work because I'm sure we all can agree we've gone through different things, hurt, pain, happiness, ups, downs, and that can frame so much of how we see things, hear things, and experience things. And as she was talking, we had one of the best conversations, and it has led into an incredible friendship. And it's led into her sharing how she's been healed in so many different ways, and she's been able to change her lens through the things that she sees when it comes to African American females and all type of things. And if you think about it, if I would have had a different response to her, if I would have responded in a certain kind of way that could have further hurt her, what would I have done? Right. And so it made me think about when he brought this to mind, I was like, okay, so what do I share today? And I wrote some notes here. And really, I want to hear even from you all as I kind of go through some of these different talking points today. Like maybe you've gone through an experience where you had to filter and hear and look at things a little bit differently by the lens through which you were reviewing that conversation, looking at that situation, or even examining that person like in a different kind of way, like looking at saying, do they really think this way? Do they really feel this way? Like, how do we change our lens? How do we shift our lens? How do we filter our lens? Because our lens are so much um, designed by, I'm going to read a little bit, by our experiences, our wounds, our victories, our disappointments, and expectations. They create what we see. Like, for example, two people can walk through the same situation and interpret it completely differently. So, here's the question that I wanted to pose. When you're looking at your situations and things that you're dealing with in your life right now, ask yourself, what lens am I using right now? Fear, rejection, scarcity, comparison, faith, growth. Um, because sometimes nothing in our life needs to change except the way that we're seeing it. Okay, this is a really important topic. That's why I'm reading a lot. I wrote down a lot of notes because I wanted to hopefully leave some different perspectives, because this is something that I think is a collective thing that we all can constantly review in our lives. How am I reviewing this relationship? How am I reviewing this opportunity? How am I seeing this comment and this discussion, this um, um, perspective? Like, here's the thing, and we all say it so often: if we're all just kind, the world will be better. Well, I don't think it's just so easy as that. I think kindness is always a component, but I also think it's so important about how we look at things, and not just with the world, not just with our relationships, but even the lens that we see ourselves. Right? Sometimes we have to change our own perspectives of how we see ourselves. How do you see yourself today? Do you talk well of yourself? Do you see that, okay, I'm still doing this? Do you beat yourself up? Do you still feel like you're not worthy? Do you still feel like your comparison? Do you still feel like you're not this or that? Like, the lens on which we see things, period, is what today's really covering. And I put on here, a distorted lens creates a distorted story. That when we view life through insecurity, everything can feel like a threat. If we view life through rejection, everything can feel very personal. If we view life through lack, everything feels unfair. But when we shift to growth, opportunity, and purpose, everything begins to expand. If we look at, like, for example, the conversation I shared with you, if I saw that in one particular way, it could have led to something unfruitful. But I chose to see that conversation as something of growth, something that could be a good collective conversation, something to where when she was asking me some very direct questions, I could have been like, what? But no, I was like, no, I want to have this conversation, because I looked at it through a different lens. I didn't look at it as she was this, whatever you want to describe it. I looked at it as someone that was genuinely trying to understand an experience that she walked through. And although I can't speak for the other person, and I even shared that a few times, I can't say this person meant this, that, and the other, but here's a frame that we can look at the situation through. Okay. Um, Here's the thing I wrote here also. We don't just see differently, we also tend to respond differently, and our responses shape our outcomes. And so, in this moment right here, I just want you to think about maybe circumstances that you're in, or maybe you've come through, and maybe you're comfortable sharing it below, or maybe you're comfortable sharing that when you've had to face changing your lens. What did you do? What did you experience? How did you do that? Would love for you to share that below. Here's another thing. You are the narrator of your reality, right? Events happen, then we can assign meaning. That meaning can shape emotion. That emotion drives action. The actions will create that result. So, for example, they ignored me. That can be seen through the lens of rejection. They're distracted and overwhelmed. Lens of grace. This delay is ruining everything. Lens of frustration. This delay might be protecting me. Lens of trust. Same situation, different outcomes internally about how we see things. Okay. So here's the thing: when we start looking and shifting our lenses, we stop, in my opinion, um, becoming frustrated easily, overreacting. We can stop carrying unnecessary weight. We can stop sabotaging good opportunities. We can stop becoming more avoidant of new opportunities. Um, I put on here, changing the lens doesn't deny reality, it gives us a healthier way to engage with it. So let me pause right here real quick before. No, actually, hold on. Let me read one more thing I wrote, and then I want to kind of go another direction with this. Your lens affects your relationships. If we assume they don't care, we withdraw. If we assume they're against me, we become defensive. If we assume they're judging me, we armor up. How many times have you been a part of a group or you walk into a situation and you feel like, okay, no one's talking to me, they don't like me? How many times have you posted a ton of different content and no one's engaging with you? Nobody likes me. Nobody cares what I'm sharing. Nobody this. Like, we can attach things through something. How many times have you posted something so meaningful and personal, but no one really responded? And you feel like nobody cares what I'm experiencing. Nobody likes me. Think about the lenses and the things that we have in our internal dialogue that we can attach to things that are simply just not true. But if we shift it to, maybe someone's hurting, maybe they don't have the capacity right now to um, be involved or be connected, or what have you. Maybe I need clarity instead of assumption. Our communication changes, our tone softens, our relationships improve more when we shift the lens that we see things through. And so here's the thing. Here's a framework just to consider. Whenever you're hearing something or you got to process something, consider pausing, ask yourself clarifying questions, reframe, and then respond. Like, for example, pause, not reacting immediately. Question, like, what else could this mean? Is there another perspective? Is there another way of seeing the situation? Reframe, choosing maybe a healthier interpretation. And let me say this: reframing doesn't mean you're denying whatever's in front of you. It doesn't mean denying a truth. Even if you're dealing with a hard situation and you need to give a very strong response back, it's framing it how you can do that in a way that still can um, deliver what you want to deliver, but at the same token, you're framing it in a way that is not going to be what's the word, destructive or unfruitful. Okay, and respond, acting from clarity but not emotion. And I know that is not always easy because we're humans, right? Sometimes we're going to act with good clarity. Sometimes we're going to act with so much emotion, right? But the key is let me look at this a different way, or is this a different perspective, or maybe let me ask this person, can you tell me what your situation is? Can you tell me what this is about? Or maybe it's something internal. Whenever something rises up, they don't care, they don't see me, they don't this, they don't blah blah blah, whatever that internal dialogue is. That could be a time to pause and say, is that really true? Just because someone didn't respond doesn't mean they don't care. Just because this didn't happen doesn't mean that they're rejecting me. Like changing our internal dialogue. So here's the thing that I want to kind of close with, if you will. Okay. Before you try to change anything, your relationship, job, environment, consider shifting the lenses that you need to shift. And oftentimes, if we're very honest with ourselves, we know those lenses. We know the things that we need to shift through. I'll give you another big example. When I got divorced and got remarried, I had to really shift a lot of my views of how to be a mom and even how to be a wife. And what I mean by that, like if for so long I was, at the time I only had Christian, I was his protector, I was his dual roles. I feel like I was mom and dad, I was a lot of different things. So when I met my husband, and he was definitely all into being a father, being a dad, being showing up, I had to change my lens that I don't need to be a part of everything that they do. I had to change my lens because Christian would tell me everything, because that's this kind of relationship we have, and we still have that, thank God. But I had to tell him it's okay to have conversations with your dad, because and dad meaning Charles, my husband now. Um, it's okay to have conversations with him that I don't know about. It's okay to build with him, because he didn't know, like, how do I build with him when I'm so used to only building with you? I had to change the lens too, that I had to let my hands off certain things. um, I had to let my husband be a dad. And then the same thing, even as a wife, I had to change the lens that, yes, I'm independent. Yes, I'm strong. But yes, I'm also soft too. And I had to shift that lens. There was times where he wanted to carry groceries. He's not, well, time, he still does. Charles won't let me touch a bag, y'all. But he likes to open the doors. He likes to do certain things. And I used to be like, I got it. I can hold this. I can grab this. I can do this. And he'd be like, no, let me do it. I had to change the lens because I came from another situation where I had to do everything. I mow the yard. I took care of this. I did all the things. And in changing the lens, it helped me to grow. It helped me to relax. It helped me to soften. It helped me to um, strengthen our relationship even more. And so, talking about this today, just think about, where does your lens need to shift? And how does that look for you? And what does that look for you? And if that's an area that is more of a struggle, that's okay too. I just believe if you're honest with yourselves about the areas you need to shift in, you find that you'll enter into better and stronger seasons of growth, of alignment, of peace, of clarity. Um, and more importantly, you walk in a way that feels more real to who you are when you're entering conversations, entering new environments, entering different spaces, entering different opportunities, or even, like I said earlier, your internal dialogue. When you start shifting these perspectives, you start filtering your perspectives before responding and reacting, you find that you literally, in my opinion, you walk in a way that deals that resembles a lot more clarity. You walk in a way that gives you a widened perspective. You also walk in a way that can open doors that maybe didn't open before. Like I mentioned, that conversation at the conference. To this day, me and that person are very good friends, and we talk about everything. And it has become something that's been a huge blessing in my life. And I always think, if I had a different response, I would have lost an opportunity to have a really good new friend in my life. Okay. So I hope this was helpful to some degree. I hope this was give you some insights. I would love to share, I would love for you to share some of your insights when you've had to change a lens, or maybe your process with it, or maybe there's something that you did to put this in practice. Um, yeah, just any of your thoughts and comments around the value of shifting and changing your lens. Okay. Thank you, ladies, as always, for. I keep saying ladies, there's men that be joining our Monday Morning Brews too. But thank you all so much for spending a few minutes your Monday mornings here with us. And I, as always, look forward to hearing your thoughts and your perspectives. And I pray that you each have an amazing, blessed, peaceful week. All right, take care.